All right, so we back. So we got some of our bread. It's seasoned, it's buttered. Kind of better than butter bread. And since we got air conditioner, how this um, we found a better solution now. When I talk about guidance, now see here, I was doing my thing off screen, and I was about to throw on some. I had a conversation with myself. Actually, I was documenting some stuff and archiving earlier, but I didn't, and I could. Instead of, I could just piece it together, but, and then release it. But I'm in my adult life on therapist, and I turn on the TV with the intentions on YouTube, some Jada Kiss, Friday Night Freestyles, had Fab, you got 2, 3 of them, Jada Kiss, release on. And as soon as I turned on the TV, and it's funny because I made a joke back in the day. I was watching like a commercial or something. Oprah Winfrey had a like she was promoting a segment of the show. She was talking about the chicken wing. Girl, she made the joke. I'm not ashamed, but I was talking about my chicken. I was like, can't call him boss. Anyway, that was yesterday where I was. I turned on the TV and Dr. Oz is on. He's talking about Oprah and her lifelong traumas, the abuse she's been through, the rape. She got raped. I don't know if it was a series of rapes or and because she's talked about it years ago. She's talking about the trauma. Not just that, but she's talking about stories I've never heard because I've heard a lot of stories from her pertaining to trauma, and she's talked about PTSD or whatever, or post-traumatic stress recognition, something like that. I don't know, but she's not directly saying I was diagnosed, even though I've heard her say that past. When I look up stuff now, she says she talks about the trauma, but not the diagnosis, which is fine. Because, like I'm saying, with the new evolving field, they're trying to use diagnosis as a basis for treatment, not a finite answer for that's you. So, like, and I've talked about that, how even if you get diagnosed with anxiety, it might be multiple different things stemming from trauma. Like I've talked about separation anxiety, attachment issues, which can influence separation anxiety, general anxiety, panic attack, stuff like that, depression, all types of stuff. Outward, external responses. External responses to stimuli like trauma, where it could produce like a depression. You stay in the house, you're fearful, you isolate, you get anxiety, you don't want to go out. Social anxiety, like I said, attachment anxiety, different types of anxiety. Stress management, anger management, all that type of stuff. But it can manifest in different ways. Like I said, with the external, that's anger, aggression, where you might find that more common in like urban environments where people might tend to be more resilient, but there's still that tough outer shell. There's still that hypervigilance. There's still that aggression, and that's why I was talking about the cripples and police trauma-informed care, because, like I said, over the stint of from rescue in whatever condition, if they're scared and afraid and anxious, or scared and afraid and aggressive. Like I was just watching an episode the other day. I don't remember if it was on DaBear, so it was a newer episode. Like, these are the things that I'll be wanting to incorporate in like group therapies and stuff like that. Like seeing as a therapist works. And I'm still doing my that Boi Foodie home edition. But I'll be throwing the so cheers to new thing. That's why I was talking about the pit bulls and parolees because, like, you know, and like I said the other time I was talking about, not to keep always. It's funny because, like I'm saying, I'm looking at the dogs because they basically through every episode take you through the dog's lens, the dog's point of view, the dog's life, and they show you from rescue to getting acclimated. And even in the last episode I was watching, they talked about, well, even in the last episode I was watching, when they did the rescue, the dog was growling, showing his teeth, and back against the wall, and barking at him and stuff like that. And the dog turned out to be a nice dog off the rip, but in that instance, it was scared. It didn't know these people, and it was like fight or flight mode, protect myself. From around here, you ain't from around here. And then, like I said, at the time of adoption, to see how loving, caring, and you know, it's like because when you have that trauma-informed treatment and care, like you basically do sometimes, depending. Like when I'm talking about external responses, like I said, because I went through that even before interest in the field. You get what I'm saying? Like I wasn't always this goofy dude that you see on these lives. Like, you know, some people really thought you, especially back then. People tell me now I'm unapproachable. But you see me on here. I'm goofy. You know, it is what it is. But you know, back then it was like I said, like I really didn't talk about when I was like young boy. It was never a stupidity thing. It was just like I said, I was raised by a strong, silent type dude who didn't really say too much. I heard him on the phone with his friends more than he talked to us in the house. In a loud tone, like, you know, when you hit the door, it's like, what's up, Corey? What's up, man? Now, but other than that, ain't really too much conversation. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it was a provider, those kind of things. It's definitely sad to say at this point in time wasn't like additional one, because like I said, I probably 4, 5, 10,000 people growing up. I only knew like 6 people that had their dad in the crib. So like I'm saying, more aggressive, non-trusting, and that's what I'm saying. When it comes to trauma, before they talk about restoring a sense of trust, establishing your own autonomy, independence, you know, dealing with it, or watching the people's movies, I can see all that while they're dealing with these dogs. And like I said, by the time, like you still got some of the dogs that have been at the rescue for 12 years or whatever, most of their life, and they're still withdrawing. While you got some of the, like, have a rescue dog that but through the affection of the staff members of the family that operates the family, they restore that sense of security. They can trust people. They were just saying that a lot of the dogs don't trust men. Whatever. Even dudes don't trust people. The best friends don't trust you. Sometimes. I can't speak that. And then, like I'm saying, in that episode, they were saying it was funny because that particular dog that they rescued didn't trust women. It was cool with men, but it would snap like every time a woman come up initially, like over time, over a short period of time. So warmed up to the women, but you have to show it that it's safe. And back to the God engineering, I'm watching Oprah, and she's providing her own account of her own experience. Everybody's experience is different. Treatment can be the same problem can be the same for different people, depression, whatever. But the treatment you go about might be different. And that's why, like, for me as a clinician, in my initial session, I'll ask people, not this is textbook, but I think it's a good tool. Like, I ask people what has worked in the past, they'll tell me nothing, or they'll tell me 3 things out of 16 things that worked. They tell me everything that worked and 2 things that didn't. And then after they tell me what worked, I'll ask them what didn't work. That way we don't have to go through those things, we don't have to try those things, but the stuff that does work, the stuff they want to utilize, we can continue to build on. Not only building on that intervention, but we can add other interventions that complement that interventions or variations that will keep you thriving, recovering, healing, whatever. But you know, like I said, I came and I want to throw on stuff too. But you know, like I'm saying, like whether it's this, whether it's intervention, whether I know people will be like, what pitbulls are bully? That's why I keep explaining because like and like I said, aside from the dogs, you got the parolees that are getting this second chance. You got some people that will do what they got to do until the mandatory whatever situation is done. And then you will have people that will establish a career, and then you will have people that will use it as a launching pad. Again, she said that in an episode I was watching. I'm keeping track of these episodes. I don't remember that one. Like this Oz is season 12, episode 144. The intervention that I think is amazing, learning tool example, whether it's groups, teachers, clinicians, or training purposes, whatever, is season 14, episode 4. For a clinician, it's great. And like I'm saying, even for me, like, and I think, like I said before, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, because since they shut my Instagram down, it's been, you know, it's been what it's been. But even in the music, like, and it's crazy because like, even with hardcore rappers, whether it's hardcore rappers, whether it's rock and roll singers, whether it's alternative, whether it's backpackers, whether it's conscious, whether it's gangster, whether it's boom bap, whether it's whatever it is. Even in relationship songs, like you as a clinician will hear different things, and like you know, whether it's a response to the anger and angst of the inner city environment or urban environment. So like when you got that depression, and like I'm saying, I got to put it in an urban environment setting because like I tell people, like, I know familiar stories. I know familiar stories. My sister and brother, they know their familiar stories. I've said it before, I can never view life in their eyes. Even at this point in my criminality recovery, I did use substances. I have a criminal, but it's not that but and I gotta say that, yes, um, no, because like even in my afterlife, you know, as much as I call it the afterlife, the life after death, once you basically are in a legitimate life, you're away from the substances, you're go from pre-contemplation to maintenance, whatever you want to. And like I say, stages of change for those familiar. It's fluid. It could be in maintenance. Most people I find that maintenance stay in maintenance for a long time. And it takes something earth-shattering to move from that. Because usually at that point, textbook. But again, this is something that if you are in afterlife, you'll be familiar with whether it's criminality, substance abuse, or it's what they call massive problem solving. And I say it's melody exploited in the afterlife because it's like, like I told people all the time, and I've already said this one here. I can remember personally, I don't remember where I was sitting, but I remember saying to myself, like, I was going through a stressful time. I just wanted to inner dialogue. I was thinking to myself, I don't know Like, and I know it wasn't the first time it occurred, but it was the first time it dawned on me. And I don't know why. I don't know. And I said to myself, what's the last thing on my mind? You know? Smoking reefer, smoking cigarette. Like, when I started smoking cigarettes, I was late in the game. Like, I was smoking reefer since I was 15. Just smoking cigarettes until I was 20. Like full packs every once in a while. Before that, I would have a cigarette. But like, you know, for me, and for a lot of people, they say you stress out of a cigarette. You need one. Choice. Not promoting choice. But I'm just saying, like, when you get to a certain spot where argument, like some people will admit, like they start arguments just for an excuse to go to college. They start arguments just for an excuse to leave the house in a relationship so they could go do it. They use a situation just to set off an excuse to cause violence. You know what I'm saying? The justifications, the rationalizations. But after a while, you'll hear it. I don't know when people will notice it, but I know that the reason why I'm saying all this is because I knew like I said, at the time when I first did it, you know, I'm just, and I'm not trying to minimize stuff against others. I got to give disclaimers, which I hate doing. But, when I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, I was dumbfounded. Like I said, the last thing on my mind was going to get some ritual, going to go drink a fifth or something like that. Like, and that's where the master of the problem solving comes in. Now, instead of going to the groups who negative coping skill, that's clinical term. Now you're not even thinking about that. You're thinking about solutions to the problem in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with all the other stuff, it's like it's not only textbook. You definitely read it in the textbook. This is what it is. Like for me, I feel like I've always been a problem solver, but I didn't always use it in the most positive way. It's crazy. Like I think I said that in the rant, how close you can relate con artists with certain aspects of field because it's all mental manipulation, but it's what the field is helping you heal. It's trying to retrain the mind. With cons, they want to play mind games to get what they want, to get over it, to cut corners, stuff like that. So it's very closely related. That's why I guess they say some of the best counselors, especially in substance abuse, are people that have that familiar story. And that's why I like the peer physician, peer specialist, and especially as somebody who's trying to change their life, somebody who's might be coming home from jail, might be coming off the street to a recovery center, but it gives you a basis, and now you can evaluate the rest of your life and careers after that. And that's why I like the people's reason to get door. It's an opportunity, especially when I said before, in a lot of familiar settings, the belief is there's no recovery from that situation. Some use that as justification. Team don't feed what they don't. And others might just have that common belief that there's no life after catching a felony. There might be no life after rock bottom, but there is. And so this promise, and like I was saying, when I discovered that the master problem solving, I thought I thought that I was an island to myself, and I've said this, but it's like, no, you'll start to see people that are in similar situation, better situation, stable, making a life for themselves. And like I try to say, I try to use that, not just me, because it's called modeling, it's called different things. It's developing that self-object that you can really hope, encouragement, build self-esteem, build empowerment, and really show that things are possible. Now, like I said, I love working at the medical. It was rewarding. Most of the time, it's just like I don't want to say I do my job to do my job, but it's not about me. It's about the person. So most of the time, it's like, well, you did this. You did the interventions. You maintained the situations. You maintained the interventions you used. Once you started doing stuff, everybody. I just watched on TV. It was an interview. I don't remember who it was with, but it was an interview, and it was like once I started doing certain things, everything started falling into place, and it's like, now, man, the building blocks, and building on the building blocks, and like the what I said to the client before, like when you lay the foundation for your house, and you start to put those building blocks on, you want to put them on brick by brick. Uh, I forget what it's called. Brick by brick, whatever. I forget what the big block, cinder block by cinder block, whatever. And you're going to continue building until the house is done. And your house is stable, not on stable ground, not on that is sand or something like that. You see in Florida, they build on sand, sinkholes all the time. And I'm not shooting at people in Florida. It's insane. You wouldn't build a house on quicksand, so you want to build your house on something that's going to be solid foundation. But anyway, like I be saying, I can go on and on. That's why I'm looking in the public speaking. But it was just funny to me. But every intention of throwing some Jada, I still watch what I watch. But you know, it was I don't know, it was just crazy to throw that on. She talking about trauma. I went to a school that focused. I'm not gonna say primarily on trauma, but they really incorporated trauma informed care as base of the program. So we got the butter, or we got the bread all seasoned up and stuff. Not to switch gears and stuff, but I'm about to start this room. We got the butter in. I'm about to throw in some. And I know I'm all over, but it's good speech, good speech. Probably a lot of the same. But structure on it better than I said. You go cross country. And the crazy thing is, I actually crazy. Whatever. I can jump off students, whether it's staff, whether it's the other clinicians, but you know, I found my mind. It still links me. Mom, she brought me all day about health podcast. Me, I can do a podcast all day. You know? And I'm really interested in writing a book from the afterlife perspective. Even though some people, and like I said, when you get to that point, it's like like I said, I worked at the methadone clinic for a year. I worked at the methadone clinic for a year. But before that year, it was like I was running into people, and like I said, which should be a good thing, man, is that I can't picture you ever living that. And it's like at the time, since you know, some people, like Jake said, point, like Jake said, so in different environments, it should be a compliment. It should be a great compliment. And like I said, it's criminology for me. So when I talk to some other people and people in public, and I'm basically looking at them the way people look at me. And like I said before, it's not like my own. And I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing. So I can't picture, like, my perspective is the hand-to-hand perspective. You know what I mean? Not glorifying anything, but like, you know, they say rock bottom, come back from hell, whatever you say. Like, I might have I had to duck jail. I had to duck bullets. So I had to duck different things. Stay out of different situations that was gonna cause for jail. But for other people, any of them, like I'm saying, I'm not shaming them. I'm not people. It's weird. Like something changed my trajectory, and now you got to deal with this. And I was trying to avoid that because, like, you know, I know people to meet family and stuff like that. But when you get into certain aspects, and it's like you forcing me to draw the lines. I'm in my house. Been through purgatory. I've been through. Um, I, I was just thinking on that too. I'm on Facebook. This one is this, and one of the end scenes of Pulp Fiction. Different parts he loved, different parts of it. I used to like to watch it before. But my scene was Samuel L. Jackson's character in the robbery with Tim Roth and the chick that his name is and this is after Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta, they get shot at. And you know that they got shot at, and it was close proximity, like you said, not a real hit. And you look around and there's bullet holes all around it, but nothing hits him. So he's basically having his epiphany and stuff like that. I don't know if there'll be a part 2 of 20 years. And also but basically the bullet comes in, he's sitting there trying to rob Tim Roth, put it up short or Hoodlum with Uncle Johnson. Yeah. So in the scene, he's sitting there and he's protecting a briefcase for the police. And he's basically like, I'll give you the money, I'll give you my wallet. It's a nice wallet. I love the wallet. It's a bad motherfucker. But I'm not getting this briefcase. Oh, yeah. So it's like a situation where you build made people, connected people. You've done a job as chain snatching. Wait, snatching. But anyway, I play with the pop culture, but still. So he says to him, he says this whole speech, he says about it. He says, like, I used to like saying it right before I killed someone. I just thought it was some hot shit. It's like, man, I'm really evaluating it. And he's like, he gives different scenarios. And then at the end, he says, but for real, the honest to God truth is, I'm that killer. I'm that tearing, I'm that, and you're the weak. Even though he's sitting there robbing the whole, restaurant. He's like, the truth is, you're the weak. And I'm the tyranny. But I'm trying, I'm trying real hard to be that shepherd. Meaning, like, he's trying to change his life, trying to get out of the dumb stuff into more positive stuff. He's retiring from killing people. I'll be saying, like, you know, as a therapist, you know, you try to use different things. And, some people talk to me when they had like religious delusions, and there's nothing wrong with religion, but some people have religious delusions. One of the delusions is, they took 2 showers, they're going to heaven. So I'll have to say to them, well, you know, you're a good Christian person. You made a mistake, and God forgive you. And then keep going. I'm not putting anyone out there that's not. They have religious delusions. This is what I said to them, but that's not the situation I said it to them. And I have to say, like, you know, you got to realize that, you know, St. Paul, who has books of the Bible, you know, books of the Bible, and never met Jesus. Saul, before he got blinded by the lightning, saw the lightning, heard God's voice. God's Christian people. I'm not going to get into the different religions and higher beings. I'm just going to say, like, if God was able to forgive somebody who was persecuting people, and I know what's wrong, but he canonizes. This is the same thing. Definitely, possibly, definitely will. Books of the Bible. Possible. Except for the Old Testament. But with all this, I'm gonna get back. I just thought like, and all I'm saying is like, not only gotta live with regret, like somebody said. It's phone is- Anyway, like somebody said, you gotta live with regret, and you gotta be able to forgive. You gotta be able to give us a trust message. We committed on others. We you know what I'm saying. You know what. You gotta think deep about that. Because some people, like I said, they might not know it's forgive us. No, in the bar, carry but you like that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying. So anyway, back to my stuffing. Made my room. I didn't want it too stir it up. For me, by myself, I feel like this should be enough for me. This should be enough bread for me. So cut it down. And I definitely probably will put more butter in the situation. At the top. And you could do croutons like this and then toast it some more. And I gotta baste the chicken. I don't want so much chicken. Like, like I said, don't let people gaslight you. Don't gaslight you. It's not about division. It's about harmony, inclusion. It's not about who's greater than who, who's smarter than who. Especially when I've said before, I can't tell a mechanic how to fix a carburetor, but I'm a therapist, so I respect the mechanic. But I don't tell the mechanic to put an elephant in the carburetor to fix it. So if you're talking to somebody and they tell me you're not listening to somebody who's prudential, and mechanics, somebody else. And some delusional people intentionally make it disseminating the right information. I'm not delusional people. Manipulative people. The devil will tell you he's Jesus. You hear it all the time. Don't trust your own best friend. Sorry about the cough. I felt like this was going to get good. Like I said, the stuffing, so I still got to mash it up. Mash him up. My mash on. You gotta figure out what's in your best interest. If people are trying to sell you drugs, people are trying to get you to join the pity party. Misery loves company. You gotta find out what people's true motives are. You don't want to get busted over the head with some nonsense. Like, I know when the devil's at work. So, and I got a sense of humor about it. So, what I was about to say is like, just like me in this conversation. And I'm talking about Dr. Oz, season 12, episode 144 with Oprah Winfrey. This is documented. This is evidence based. This is my perspective on it. But it's textbook. And I that's that lived experience when I say it's my take on it. And even if I ever write an article, write a book, write whatever, do public speaking, whatever, that's the adage. That's not textbook. Those real situations, those lived experience. And like I was saying, the whole window situation, it's like, you get to that point where you start seeing other people that the last thing that's on their mind, and they stabilize their life, and they have their stresses because life is life, but they everyday stresses. It's not the whole stress of rock bottom. Like some people ain't at rock bottom. That's what I'm saying. I'm not, and I know that as a clinician, I've been told, like I told you before, like I've been told, like, tell them you're doing too much. They'll get it when they get it. You're doing too much. Some people ain't at rock bottom and they're not in contemplating recovery. And like I'm saying, I'm not trying to force myself on anybody. Depending on what you want treatment for. If you want treatment for mental health, but what you might not know, and that's what they were just saying on the Dr. Oz show, that sometimes the mental health, and I was watching something yesterday that had nothing to do with mental health or substance abuse. And they were saying that the mental health symptoms and the substance abuse. And I knew that because it's from one of my classes. One of my classes was saying that in previous modes of substance abuse treatment and in mental health treatment, they treated each thing separately. Now, like I said, for some people, it's new knowledge. They're still operating. What I'm about to say I've been talked about. Like, they call it treatment as usual, where clinicians, some clinicians, especially, like I'm gonna say some clinicians, I ain't gonna they weren't trained to deal with, especially if it's solely substance abuse. An older model of substance abuse. They were trained to address substance abuse, 12 steps and all that stuff. Like even harm reduction, even though it's old, because like I said in another joint, I remember when they started doing stuff with the condoms and the needle exchanges and gun exchanges and safe zones, have Narcan on sites where it's just a block or I know I remember watching something like a year or two ago talk about they were thinking about putting like nurses out in some of the safest spots. Like I don't know how far they got in the conversation. I know some people might laugh at that idea, but it's harm reduction. You want to look at the statistics of unwanted pregnancies, or the statistics of transmitted diseases. Like I said, this is a tattoo business. I'm just doing other things. The Oprah shit got me on here. Got me on one. Dr. Oprah. But tattoos. Like, one of the reasons why they wanted to prepackage needles and open the needle right in front of the customers to prevent bloodborne pathogen. And now, like in certain states, I know here in Philadelphia, you gotta get that bloodborne pathogen training, like this, license, and stuff like that. I don't think where I'm at, you might get a license, like the food. I know in the city, which is on street, I'm after gaslighting reasons. you gotta have extra credentials and stuff like that. And it's not just the rebrand stuff like body art, which I think is still different. I've already talked about that. And stuff like that. It's just like, harm reduction. It's harm reduction. So like complete abstinence is the 12-step way. But even as much as it's a 12-step way, like self-help 12-step group started with alcoholics and alcoholic anonymous. And when people that use cocaine or crack or whatever came to the alcohol, they felt judged. So then they started in that. And I know they have some like groups that do support like medicated assistance. There's not many, and working with individuals in that field, they feel like the people that started going to the AA groups that formed in it. But so I encourage people to form their own group too, because they got all types of people, anyway, but it's so you can form a group of your peers and feel accepted. Because like for me, I get the whole complete abstinence, but that don't work for everybody. Substance abuse is hard to recover from. So like if you take a harm reduction approach like methadone, and you're able to reestablish life, achieve great things, because I've talked to a lot, so don't shoot, or don't fit shoot. I've talked to a lot of people that they didn't feel supported with their they didn't feel supported with their recovery within their community, family, or even church at some time, because it wasn't a complete accident. But as the title says, like everybody says methadone, but it's medicated assistance. And I'm not trying to blow the doors off of the secret terminology. These programs and stuff are not made as lights on society. It's made for people to receive services that can stabilize their life, stabilize their recovery, reach their recovery, heal from their trauma. And that's what I was talking about with the different modalities. People treat the substance abuse, and then mental health separate, treat the mental health diagnosis, and then treat the substance abuse separate. But now it's a more integrated approach, a more trauma-informed approach, a more harm reductive approach to addressing these things where we move off of certain things. Now, certain things might still, certain substances still might not be, but since methadone is very, or not methadone, heroin, perks, highly addictive, the most highly addictive than cigarettes. I feel like if you, and like I said, some people might laugh at that, but I've seen more than the stigmatized, the misconceptualized view of people that are high outside of the buildings. I've seen twice as many people come and reestablish their life, already living a great life, got a boat, put torch on the roof or a deck on the roof. And their main thing is, I want more time with my family. I've been married, they've been in relationships, they've been common law marriages. They got a number of kids, they can even establish their connection and attachment with their family. Things are better. They might be feeling ostracized or questioned, or like they wasn't like they got people in their family that look to them for help support the fight. So like, you know what I mean? It's like if that's what medication can get you to, I'm for it. And like I said, I complete that. I understand that complete abstinence, but it's medication. It's something that helps sustain your ability to sustain your lifestyle. And I hate to say I even have coworkers that reach great heights, because I don't want you to get gaslit or me to get gaslit. Don't raise your hand. Nobody be watching shit. Next. Some people catch the reruns syndicated on Instagram, and I haven't been spending much time on Facebook. I haven't directed many people to my YouTube, but functioning. But anyway, I'm gonna check this chicken. That is nice. Not me cooking. And I'm gonna continue to do what I gotta do with the bread. I think I'm gonna need a bigger sauce or a bigger Tupperware. I used to have a bigger Tupperware that was rectangle, but I don't know where it went. But I'm gonna get back to it. I don't know, terrain. I don't know.